Hello beautiful people, my name is Bridget and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having an awesome day, and today's video is going to get me in a little bit of trouble, probably. So today we're going to talk about 10 overhyped makeup products. These are makeup products that I personally tried and think they're way overhyped on the internet, and people are buying them and they're like not as good as everyone else seems to think, in my own personal, why did I almost choke? My own personal opinion. And of course, don't get mad at me for anything because it's just my own personal opinion. If you like it, good. I'm glad you didn't waste your money on it. But I feel like some of these things I kind of did. So let's go ahead and get to the video. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get started. This video may be really fast. I'm not really sure because it is only 10 things. But these are things that I see on the internet all the time and on Instagram and things. People using all the time and recommending. And I don't personally recommend them. But like a couple of these things I still kind of use, so let's go ahead and get started. These are in no particular order because I didn't know how to rank them at all. So the first thing that I thought of was the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. This foundation, when it came out, I think because of the Jeffree Star review and a bunch of other people reviewed it too, it was like so hype. It was like, it's the best affordable drugstore foundation. It smells like paint. It's not good for dry skin, and I hated it. It was terrible foundation. Like, I did review it back in the day. I just did not like it. Okay, if you open it up and you smell it and you see the little spatula in there, it smells like paint, you guys. There's no denying it. It's a strong, terrible odor. It clings to every dry patch on your skin if you have any. I don't feel like the coverage is very good. And even for oily skin, it just doesn't look like it wears that well throughout the day. So overall, the Photo Focus Foundation, besides the obvious stink about it, I don't get why everybody else loves it so much. If it works for you, I'm glad. But for me, I can't get over the smell, and then the finish just clings to my dry patches. So like, nope, not it. Sorry. But there's many other affordable foundations that are way better than that stupid Photo Focus. Next up is something I do own as well, and I really like it, but not for the price point that it is, and there's so many other things that are so much better. So this is the Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist. Luminous Dewy Skin Mist. I am on the very bottom of mine. I use it all the time and I want to use it up because it is an expensive product, and this is like this sample travel sized one, but I feel like I've seen so many luxury beauty gurus hyping this, you have to have this mist. As someone who loves primer mists, there are so many other ones that are so much cheaper and just as good. I don't think this one does anything in particular special. I do like it. I think the fragrance is very light, refreshing, and nice. I love a fragrance that's not in your face. I love a light mist. I love a primer mist. It's like one of my favorite things, just done, let's go, primed. I love these things, but for the price point of the Tatcha, it's so not worth the hype. I feel like even if you want to get a high-end mist, the Too Faced ones are better. Smashbox is a good primer water. There's so many other sprays that are better than this one. Even the Becca Skin Love, that thing's really good too if you want something dewy, but this is not it for the price point. Now, if it was a Morphe setting spray price point, I'd get this all day long. It's really good, but it's not. It's really expensive, and it's just a mist at the end of the day. I don't think it's worth all the hype. It doesn't lock in your makeup specifically well. It doesn't set your face and prime your face specifically well. It's just kind of like an average product. So it's overhyped in my opinion. Next up is another luxury thingy, and this is the Mercier translucent powder. I wanted to try this forever, and now that I have, I cannot use it. I've tried to use it, it locks in your face just fine. But I made the mistake of leaving the house when I tried this for the first time, and it looked like I had banana powder under my eyes, you guys. It's really yellow. Let me shake off some off the top. It is an expensive powder, and I want to try it for so long. But I don't know if you can even tell on camera, because everything with the bright lights of the cameras make everything look lighter. It is a banana powder. My under eyes could never be that yellow. And when you set it with a sponge, it's so yellow. Look compared to the white cap. Look how yellow that is. It's basically a banana powder. And it's supposed to be, this is the translucent one. It's not translucent. I am so tired of setting powders not being good for fair skin. There's so many that are not good for deep complexions as well. They cater to everything medium. And if you have a cool undertone, even if you have a deeper complexion, you have a cool undertone, setting powders are a nightmare. It's because you're going to look yellow. And that's just something us cool people have to deal with, and I cannot use it. I tried to use it. It set my face really well the one day I wore it out because I went out that night, and my face was still set and fresh at the end of the night, which was great. But it's just such a yellow powder that I don't think half the population of half the makeup wearers could use this. So At the end of the day, it's overhyped because it says it's translucent. You think it's going to be great. It has a frosted container. It's all a lie. Don't fall for it, because then you'll end up like me, going out and not realizing you look like a yellow banana underneath your eyes. Next up is something I decluttered after I reviewed it. And this is the James Charles and Morphe palette. Now don't yell at me. Don't yell at me. I know I just kind of ragged on James Charles and the Wet n Wild situation about this palette. I'm sorry. Accept my apology. I still mean what I said, but I'm sorry it came out on camera. The purples in this palette are not good. James Charles himself didn't even tell people that it's stained. There's certain primers and certain bases you can't use with it. It's just a pain in the butt palette, especially if you're bringing a Morphe palette. And I'm used to pressed pigments. It's not the same. This palette is just really weird. There's something about it with certain primers, certain things you can't use with it properly. And I've had pressed pigments before that worked fine with these kind of methods. For me, it's like one of those things you have to learn how to use, and there's like a million palettes in the market. You don't need to learn to use a palette. And the color story, it has all the colors in it, right? But most of us have at least 2 palettes in our collection, and if you wanted something like that, you could definitely get something like a BH Cosmetics palette that has rainbows in it, and then have your standard neutral palette as well, because I don't feel like this all-in-one palette is all-in-one. There's certain things that I would definitely still want from it, and it just, for me, was not worth the hype. Next up, this kills me because ColourPop is my favorite brand, but let's be real here. The ColourPop concealers, the no filter concealers, these are beautiful for a cut crease, and the coverage is okay. Like, it's kind of what you expect from like a drugstore concealer. It'll do something for you, but it's not like full coverage Shape Tape concealer, but we never expected that from it. My issue with the ColourPop concealers is they don't last. Now, I don't think the coverage is that great. The coverage is fine for like covering small spots and small scars on your face. I particularly wouldn't use it to cover my under eyes just because I need that coverage under there. But these don't last that long. They kind of dry out and dry up. So I never even used this one this much, and as you can see over time they just kind of disappear in here and they separate really easily. I keep these things shaked up just so I can keep them like in usage if I need them for a video. But they all just kind of separate. They all get kind of yellowy in here because you can see the original color. It gets gross. And these are not that old. Like, this one's a little bit older than this one. I got this one afterwards. But like you can see, the oils and stuff break up in here. They don't last. So like maybe these are like 4 or 5 months old, if that. And these should just, I think concealers are good for a year after you open them. But they just don't last. They get weird. They oxidize. Even if I mixed it up in here, it's kind of a weird consistency at this point. You can mix the oils back in to kind of get the concealer still going, but they just don't last very well. So overall, the ColourPop concealers, the coverage is okay. I would definitely suggest if you wanted like a drugstore concealer, the Makeup Revolution concealer and the Juvia's Place concealer are both better than this one. So was the e.l.f. Camo concealer if you want something thicker. But these are a lightweight concealer that just don't really do it for me, and they don't last very long. So overall, ColourPop concealers overhyped, even though I did enjoy it when it first came out. I was really excited for it. The ColourPop foundation is way better than the concealers. Okay, so number 6 is something I want to mention in here because it is overhyped, but I still thoroughly enjoyed them, and my favorite shadow of all time is one of these shadows. So the product I'm talking about that is overhyped is these Sugarpill eyeshadows. Don't yell at me. I love Sugarpill eyeshadows. Trust me, I love them. They're great. But they're not as good as everyone says. Like, they're kind of a basic eyeshadow. Like, they're good quality eyeshadow. But they're not the most amazingless, like, world's most pigmented thing in the world like everyone acts like Sugarpill eyeshadows are. They are great, especially if you use it packed on with a brush. And my favorite eyeshadow of all time is Ice Angel by Sugarpill from the Edward Scissorhands palette, and it also comes in singles now, and they give you really big single pans. However, people hype up Sugarpill eyeshadows like they are the bee's knees, like Anastasia can kiss their butt on this one, like Violet Voss doesn't even know them on like Sugarpill level to some people. And I love Sugarpill and I love the cutesy packaging, and they have amazing products, but their eyeshadows are not up to the standard that people hype them to be. Like, their pro palette is like $100 and something. You want to build your own pro palette from Sugarpill. That's crazy, especially for the quality being, it's good, but it's not like, I just happen to have a strong connection to Ice Angel. I just think it's the most beautiful color. But overall, they are overhyped, but they're still good quality. So I'm not saying it's a bad product, I'm just saying they're not to the god level people put them up to be. Next up at number 7 is the Juvia's Place foundation. I did review this when it first came out, and it's not great. Okay, so I worked at Ulta for a while, and there were so many returns of the Juvia's Place foundation. One, because you can't see the color through the packaging, people would buy the wrong shade all the time, and two, it's just not as good as everyone says. People were like, Juvia's Place, we love them, we love their products, and I love Juvia's Place palettes. But the foundation does not wear well for oily skin or dry skin. I don't find that it has the most beautiful finish. I feel like for a drugstore foundation, there's many other affordable options that are better in that category. Even Makeup Revolution, again, has better face products than the Juvia's Place foundation. Now, I personally love the Juvia's Place concealer. Juvia's Place concealer is bomb. Like, it's good. But the foundation itself just not wear well at all. It's hard to find your shade because you can't see it through the packaging, and it's just really bizarre what they launched that like. So I don't understand. I don't get it. And for me, the foundation quality was just not there. It was really just kind of weird. Next up, coming for another indie brand. Oh my god, stop, Bridget. Sorry. So this is Beauty Bakerie's liquid lipsticks. And don't get me wrong, the colors, gorgeous, and I know they have removers for these, but these things are so drying, they hurt to remove. If you just want to remove it with like your regular makeup wipe, it's gonna hurt your lips to remove. These things dry down so dry. This is Versailles, which is like my favorite color, and I love the packaging for these things because it's just adorable. However, these things are drying to your lips. You will see every little fine line in your lips with these liquid lipsticks. They are just one of those liquid lipsticks that are very drying, very like fine line enhancing. However, if I'm going somewhere and I do not want to take my lipstick with me and I want it to stay put, this will stay put for me. Except for in the inner lip a little bit. If you eat like pizza or something so it's kind of greasy, it will come off. But like these are one of those cement liquid lipsticks that stay on your lips, but you see every fine line. It's very drying. It's kind of like, it kind of wears you out to wear it for a long time. So it's a beautiful color. I probably will own more of these in the future just because the staying power and I like the colors. But like, I gotta be prepared to wear this for the day. It's a lot. Alright, next up is the e.l.f. Putty Primer. Sorry, the Poreless Putty Primer is not worth the hype. It's supposed to be a dupe for the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer, which I've heard is really good as well. And this is just okay. Like, I used it twice, as you guys can see. It's okay. Like, it is definitely not worth all of the hype that is built up to be. If you like a silicone based primer, you'll probably like this consistency, but like, it is nothing compared to like a normal primer. It is just an okay product that is so overhyped. You definitely don't need this in your collection. It's definitely probably not, I mean, I haven't tested it personally, but it's probably not the same as the Tatcha Silk Canvas thing. It's definitely not worth the hype. You should see how many of these are in back inventory in Ulta's because it's so freaking many. It's so many. Because people think these are really hyped and people really want to buy them. These were out of stock on e.l.f.'s website forever. And I tell you what, when you try it for yourself, some of you guys may really enjoy it, but I have so many other primers that I prefer more. This is just like one of those things, it's kind of a pain in the butt to use. It's not like a cream you can kind of smear on your face. It's not a mist. You can just spray. It's not even a silicone where you can kind of rub it into your skin or a poreless one. This is something you gotta scrape up. Like, it's a lot more effort and I'm not really crazy about it. And lastly is something, when I first bought it a couple years ago, I thought I was so cool because everybody talked about it and everyone raved about it, and I thought it was so cool that I own this. But honestly, I don't understand the hype, especially now that I've tried so many other eyelid primers. This is the Urban Decay Primer Potion. This is the original one. It's cute. It's an okay eyelid primer. But you know what's better than this eyelid primer? Anything. That's so harsh. It's an okay eyelid primer. It's fine. But you know what? It's even better if you just take your beauty blender after you finish your foundation and rub it over your eyelids and prime it that way. That's better and tackier and better base than this eyelid primer. It's just more liquidy than it should be in my opinion for the primer potion. I feel like even if you just like put a little bit on your hand and kind of like tap it into your skin to make it like a little more like tacky for your eyeshadow to stick to, it's just not the most flattering base. It can make some mattes depending on the matte formula if it's like very, very silky, like let's say a matte from the Modern Renaissance palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, where it's like kind of a silky consistency of the mattes, this will kind of make them slide a little bit depending on how well you blend it in. I don't think it's the best eyelid primer in the world, and I feel like it's just overhyped. So I'm sorry, Urban Decay, I love you, but like, I don't know why they sell so many of these. I don't get it. Anyways, you guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know one product down below that you think is overhyped. I would love to hear about it. Thank you so much. If you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you here. I put up videos all the time. We can be friends. It's free. It's cool. Thank you guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.